The rain had just started to fall when everything went wrong at once, the kind of quiet drizzle that looks harmless but soaks you through before you realize it, and in that moment her phone buzzed with a reminder she could not afford to ignore. The interview she had waited months for was less than an hour away. Her heels clicked faster on the pavement as panic tightened her chest, when suddenly she noticed a small figure sitting alone on a cold metal bench, eyes wide with fear, tiny hands gripping the straps of an oversized school backpack as if it were the only thing keeping her from disappearing. The city kept moving, people rushed past without looking, but something inside her stopped completely. She had no idea that this single pause, this one decision to turn back, would cost her the job she desperately needed and change her life forever. Before the story continues, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and everyday people doing extraordinary things, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel, Everyday Heroes, where stories like this remind us what truly matters. She was a woman on the edge of exhaustion, living in a small rented room, surviving on temporary work and hope stretched thin. That interview was her chance to finally step out of uncertainty, to prove to herself that all the years of struggle had meaning. Yet as she stood there, watching the little girl fight tears in silence, her carefully planned future suddenly felt fragile and distant. She told herself she would only stop for a moment, just long enough to make sure the child was safe. But moments have a way of growing when the heart gets involved. The girl looked no older than 6 or 7, her coat buttoned wrong, her hair braided neatly as if someone had cared deeply that morning. She was lost, clearly, and the fear in her eyes was not loud or dramatic, just heavy and quiet, the kind that breaks you slowly. She knelt down, ignoring the dampness soaking through her trousers, and tried to calm the child with gentle gestures and patience. Time slipped by unnoticed as she stayed there, shielding the girl from the rain with her own coat, scanning the street for a familiar face that never came. Every few minutes, her phone vibrated again, the reminders growing more urgent, but she could not bring herself to walk away. She imagined her own childhood, the moments she had needed someone and found no one, and she knew she would never forgive herself if she chose ambition over humanity. The city felt colder as the rain thickened, and the interview time passed quietly, irreversibly. Eventually, help arrived in the form of concerned authorities and frantic adults who rushed toward them with relief written across their faces. The girl was wrapped in loving arms, safe again, while she stood back, soaked, late, and invisible. No one asked her name. No one knew what she had given up. As the scene settled, reality hit her with full force. She had missed the interview. There would be no reschedule, no explanation that would sound reasonable enough. That night, she returned to her small room, hung her wet coat by the door, and let the silence speak louder than words. She cried not because she had helped, but because kindness did not pay rent, and tomorrow looked just as uncertain as yesterday. Days passed, heavy and slow. She checked her email obsessively, knowing deep down nothing would come. She picked up extra shifts, ignored the ache in her feet, and tried to convince herself that she would do the same thing again if given the choice. Still, doubt crept in during the quiet hours. It whispered questions about whether being good was a luxury only the comfortable could afford. On the 4th day, an unfamiliar number appeared on her phone. She almost ignored it, assuming it was another rejection or a wrong call, but something told her to answer. What followed felt unreal, like a scene borrowed from someone else's life. The voice on the other end spoke with calm authority and gratitude, explaining that the lost girl she had helped was not just any child. She was the daughter of a man whose name carried weight in boardrooms and headlines, a self-made millionaire known for his influence and privacy. He had searched for the woman who stayed behind in the rain when everyone else walked past. Cameras had not caught her face, but witnesses remembered her kindness, her patience, her refusal to leave. It took days, but he found her. She was invited to a meeting, not as an interview replacement, but as a thank you. Sitting in a room far more elegant than any she had ever entered, she felt out of place, her hands trembling slightly. There were no dramatic promises, no instant riches. Instead, there was genuine respect. The man spoke of values, of the kind of world he wanted his daughter to grow up in, one where people looked out for each other even when it cost them something. He offered her not charity, but opportunity. A position in one of his companies, tailored not to her resume alone, but to her character. Her life did not transform overnight into luxury and ease, but it shifted in a way that mattered. She moved into a better apartment, worked a job where she was valued, and carried herself with a quiet confidence born not from success, but from integrity. She never told the story to seek praise. To her, the reward was not the job or the stability, but the confirmation that kindness, though risky, was never wasted. Sometimes it just takes longer to come back to you. Months later, on another rainy afternoon, she passed the same bench where everything had changed. Someone else was sitting there now, lost in their own worries. She did not stop this time, not because she would not, but because she had learned that being present when it matters most is what defines a life, not the number of times you sacrifice yourself. She smiled softly and kept walking, carrying with her the quiet knowledge that one small act had rewritten her story. If this story is touching your heart right now, if you feel that ache of emotion and hope mixed together, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in humanity, and subscribe to Everyday Heroes, because stories like this only live on when they are shared. Before the ending, we have one special request for you. Please comment below with the words, "Kindness matters," if you believe that even the smallest good deed can change a life. In a world obsessed with speed, success, and self, her story stands as a reminder that sometimes missing what you want leads you exactly where you need to be. She never knew the girl was a millionaire's daughter, and that is what makes the story powerful. She helped not for reward, recognition, or rescue, but because someone needed her in that moment. And in doing so, she became what we celebrate here, an everyday hero, proving that compassion is never a detour, but often the true destination.